So just to mix things up a little bit, or to show it again and what we might have to do, let's add in another title. So I'm going to use another H1, although normally you wouldn't do that, but just to keep it a little simpler. My second title. Oh well, what the heck? We'll change it to H2 as well. And I'll call this my second title. And I'm going to keep everything pretty much the same size as we go. Actually, yeah, so I apologize. I'm going to go back on that again. I'm going to keep it H1. The only reason being to save a few seconds of time. If we wanted H2, it'd probably be a different height, so I'd have to create another Photoshop file that had a different height on it, and so forth. And this one I'm just going to do. So what I often find is that you create one of these for your H1, and then the technique I'm showing you now to create multiple ones is often done for an H2 or an H3. So there we have my second title, and now I need to go in and to Photoshop, I need to create my second title one. So what I'm going to do here is go to the layer, have it selected, do Command or Control J, which is to duplicate that layer. All right, and then I'm going to hide the other one, make sure I'm on that new layer. So I just hit it by turning it off here, and then we're going to select our text tool and change the text in that. To my second title. And what you should see is when you change the text, Photoshop should change the name here to what's in it. So you don't have to do that yourself, it'll happen automatically when you change the text. Okay, so now we have my second title. I'm going to export that as well. Change the name to my second. And save. Okay. Now we're going to go into our CSS and add one for that as well. So I'm going to copy this from my first title and change it to my second title, and then this image changes to my second title. Alright. And so now we should be able to see our first and second title. One more little tip here: if you are going to have a bunch of, let's say, H1 or H2 elements here that all use the same method for it, there is a little way you can save yourself some time. Because you'll notice from first title to second title, the only thing that really changed was the background image. So one other way to do it is to add in a class here, and I'm going to call it Fark Revised. Well, actually, I'm just going to leave it as Fark. It's Fark Revised, but we'll do Fark R just to keep it a little shorter. And in that one, I'm going to copy all this stuff here. And actually, you know what a better name might be? It might be main title. Alright, something like that, so that we know which title this is, but it's a class. Another one I've sometimes seen people do is if they know what element they're applying it to, you do a class of H1. Alright, and so you know that that's applied to your H1 element as well. But the reason I'm not applying it necessarily to here, which is another option, is what if you don't want all of your titles to be a certain way. So if you know you want image replacement for all H2s or all H1s, okay, you can add it there. But if you don't want that, then you can add it as a class, as I'm doing here, and then selectively apply it. So what I'm going to do is remove the background from it, like that. So it just deals with the text indent and the height part. And then now, when I do these other titles, and I'm going to comment this out here so that we can kind of see the way we did it before. And so now when we do these titles, all we need is to say, here is the background image that I want to use on this. So it's just a little bit shorter, a little bit less CSS, especially if you have like 10 of these. It'll save a little bit of CSS typing. And then what we have to do in order to use this is in our HTML, we have to add a class as well. So we add that class to it. Actually, I won't add the class to this one just so we can see the difference. Okay, and so there we go. We get the second title. Oops, I didn't save the CSS. I apologize. Okay. All right. So now let's go back here and refresh. Okay. So why you're seeing this twice here is that, excuse me, we didn't have the text indent part on it, but we did have the background image. So it's the background image of my second title, and it has the text over the top of it on the second one. So that we'll need to go to the HTML, add in that class there, and then we get it right. So that's just another little tip. And that's image replacement.